BBC Hooniverse.
Hello and welcome to this one-off special audio only due to the fact that I am filming some bits and bobs later for some university work, so I need to keep the camera at optimal level, and because I wanted to see how long it would take for the audio recorder to turn on with this SD card, because it is a newer SD card to this machine, so I thought I would have to format at the beginning, and turns out I didn't, and it's worked a charm. It's also gave me some time to reflect and go, right, this is what the thumbnail needs to be, because yesterday, which is when the video came out, which was Thursday, the 9th of October, and that, I don't know what I'm saying, that had a red title, and that was the thumbnail original. I looked and I thought, that red doesn't look right, so I turned it back to white, because that is the traditional format of the channel thumbnails. Now, just before I go Doctor Who books, what I want to talk about really briefly is my Doctor Who web series, which is a spin-off from my current web series. So, if you don't know, I run a web series called Doctor Who Earthbound, which is currently in its third series, and the third episode of the third series should be out before Christmas. Should be. And the reason why it took so long is because I'm trying to develop the idea now. Now that I don't want to give away any spoilers for the future of the thing. Now that we're in this point, I have to sort of go, well, how do I make it different from the others? How do I improve it? There is also some spin-offs in the pipeline as well. So, yeah. The other thing is I've updated my website. And on my website, tommason.uk, tommason1word.uk, I have a new web series section, and it includes Doctor Who Earthbound, Who are Nori, Who School, Did You Know, Googly Eyes, which is a new sitcom I've got. So it's got the comedy stuff from Tom's Comedy Club. It's got some of the comedy from Tom Mason and the Doctor Who web series from here. There's a couple of other things that I'm trying to develop other ideas. So, back to the point. The point was that Time Hoppers, which is the Doctor Who spin-off, that's got its own YouTube channel due to the fact that some episodes will be in audio, because the way the adventure works is that I want the Time Hoppers to be able to go to different times, different adventures, and that'll only work in audio, but I still want visual elements. So different versions, different bits will have visual elements, and because it's a spin-off of Doctor Who Earthbound, the Doctor will be involved in it, but not as a main character. So he might have brief sections because he's trying to scream for help, he's trying to get help, and he knows that if he tries to send a message, eventually a dimension will get the message, and that's where the Time Hoppers come into play. So in this part 2, we are talking all things Doctor Who fan books, and the Hooniverse show, which is a brand new Doctor Who fan show podcast thing. Right, so it's a mixture of Doctor Who the fan show and the Doctor Who podcast from the first series. So they had on Bex Axford, who wrote the unofficial and the official Doctor Who quiz books. So in the thumbnail you'll see the unofficial quiz book, which is what Bex Axford wrote, and then eventually the BBC said, well, can you write the official Doctor Who quiz book, and she went, yeah, I can do. I can create the official Doctor Who quiz book. And that just made the events and made it more like, wow. Now, my only concern, and it's only a concern due to my research, is, well, how do you sort of get the rights to release the unofficial? It didn't. Nowhere did she ever say that she self-published this, so it doesn't mean that it's different. If you self-publish something, you can sort of argue fair use, but I don't know about the rest of it. So I think because that, I know I keep mentioning it, but if you're talking about Doctor Who fan books, to me, that is a key example, because I would say it's the most successful out of all the ones that could possibly exist as of now, because I know that there's new ones. Richard Lloyd has a one all about the character option figures. Now, that is new, so that hasn't been a success yet, because I don't think it's available yet. I think it's still on pre-order. So that means that it might be a success, but we won't know for sure until after it's out whether or not it's going to be the success everyone wants it to be. And I think that that's it. So 10 Acre Film and Roundel Publishers, I think they're called, they're the two that create the niche area of Doctor Who. So the Richard Lloyd he's releasing his book based on the character, all about the character option figures in Doctor Who, and that would only be possible because of this company that releases niche Doctor Who bits. So they go into the areas of Doctor Who that no one else would probably go, which at the end of the day isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually a really interesting bit. And you got to think about that. How interesting is it? Why is it so interesting? And how do you make it more interesting? Because once something's interesting already, you sort of want it to be even more interesting than it might have been 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. So, they're the only two I can think of in the book world. And obviously you've got a fanzines, which, according to my research, a zine is basically a magazine. But they call it a fanzine because it makes sense. And that's another successful one because it's sold out. So they raised a lot of money for charity, both in the visual aspect and in the visual aspect, I mean, in print media, and as an audio book, which for a fan-based thing that isn't being published by big publisher or by publisher at all, having a audio book to go alongside it is quite an achievement, really. So I'll give them all the round of applause they deserve, because they do deserve that round of applause, and they deserve a congratulations for the effort that they've done. And the reason why I say they is because it's multiple writers, right? It's multiple writers, so it's not just one writer, it's not just two writers, it's about, I don't even remember, right, 3 or 4, and one of the writers is a massive fan of the Doctor, and their costume, clothing decision for their master is very similar to what Sacha Dhawan ended up wearing for his master. Similar, but not the exact same. And they wrote a cracking story about the master. Because I think that you have to take into consideration here that the master is one of the most famous Doctor Who villains for a long time. The Master, the Cybermen, the Daleks, top 3, yeah. And I think that being Finnish helps people's love for Master grow. So I really liked Alex McQueen's portrayal of the Master, or Mark Gatiss' portrayal of the Master, or Sir Derek Jacobi's portrayal of the Master, John Sims, Sacha Dhawan. Trying to think of his name now, but it's escaped me. But the third Doctor's Master, who was actually the first Master we ever came across, who appears. I know we see the War Chief that people think is the Master, but the War Chief isn't the Master at all. It's the Master is played by Roger Delgado. Yes, I remember his name now. And I think the Big Finish original one, like Angus McQueen and so forth and so on, really helps to advance this already fascinating character. But because of the this fanzine, anyway, back to the story. But this fanzine, what it does is it basically says, right, so we've got this concept, we've got these ideas, let's just turn them into a magazine, so each of us have our own different section and our own different story, and that is a perfect way to collaborate on a project. So, on that note, even though there was no letters handed out and no papers distributed, I'd like to say tatty bye and farewell. I'll be back with more in the visual realm next time. This is a audio one-off. Don't get comfortable in this format. There may or may not be some nice music underneath this. Who knows? Who knows? Not me, because it might be copyrighted. I don't know. But we'll investigate that. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel